What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Intrusive Talks podcast. This is Dong,
This is Ding.
and welcome to our series review with episode 4.
Yep.
Episode 4 of Great Pretenders. I'm gonna preface this. It's been so long since we recorded because we record in bulk, so it's been like 4 months. So hopefully you guys won't hate us or anything like that. But we finally got new mics.
Yes, sir.
We sound good, don't we?
After fucking years, bro. But finally got mics. We did say we were gonna fix it, but now we finally fixed it. So let's go for it. So bear in mind, since we did the last Great Pretenders episode, that was 4 months ago. So if I mess up on the names again, it's gonna bound to happen. So you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But last off, we left. It was Paula Dickens, bro. Paula Dickens came in and said, "Yo, I'm shutting them shits down. This is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna try to catch Cassandra Lorentz gang."
Yep.
So from there on, episode 4 introduces with Makoto having a dream of his childhood while looking up at his father, lawyer Seiji Ozaki, and with Makoto under Salazar's watch at all times and a week remaining until the lab is ready. Abby sneaks in at night so Makoto can take lessons from Laurent and do a drug cooking via video conferencing and constructing a plausible fake version of Sakura magic to fool Cassandra. The next day, Makoto goes sightseeing with Salazar, visiting the theater and attending a baseball game at Dodger Stadium, and finds out that Salazar has a son named Tom living in foster care after the death of Salazar's wife, who he is missing a visit with because of Cassandra's command that he entertains Makoto. So I kind of want to say that was a lot to take in, but I remember, like, I did briefly talk about it in the beginning episodes, but the way they do the colors kind of sick, because you see like how before LA is all like very bright colors, like usually yellow, green, and blue, but this one, when they're going to flashback to like Edamora's, you see the background is very like warming, and I kind of like saw that because when he was spending time with his family, I don't know if you saw it, but literally while they were walking down, I saw all these warm colors. I was like, damn, bro, they kind of got the art style down.
You stupid man!
Yeah. when they were spending time together, it felt like a different show. Like they just switched up the vibe, and it wasn't so much as like pulling off a con, like that spy movie type of vibe. It was more like just peaceful, I guess.
It was more peaceful slice of life. It humanizes, like, we finally understand Edamami's backstory, like finally understanding why he's having so much trauma, like with his mom getting sick, and I think she died, right? Yeah, she keeled over. Seeing where the father was at before all the drama happened, it was definitely like more humanizing to see. So that way we kind of sympathize with Edamora more.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing like why, like what his dad did basically.
Oh yeah.
And like how it affected his childhood, and I guess it makes it more clear why he has these like reservations of not dealing drugs and like doing these things, even though it seems like he likes it, but
deep down he's a con man. But at a young age, I feel like his father was such like a role model to him, to being like a good source of justice and making sure he stays on the right track. But I'm gonna just pick up from where that is. So I think it talks about it. Actually they don't. So I'm using Wikipedia summary, shout out to them. But right now, what happens is that it gets later revealed. I think it was later in this episode or the next episode, but basically his father gets arrested for trafficking, and that kind of sends everything into spiral on how Edamami's mom feels over, and then how Edamami kind of ended up where he is now.
Yeah, that was this episode, and it was just insane because the flip between the two scenarios of like his dad just being a good role model to him, like telling him like, yeah, you got to do good, and then out of nowhere it's on the news. It's like it's broadcasted to fucking everyone in Japan that like his dad was like in trafficking.
Yeah, just like out in the open. There's no privacy. Just like, yeah, it was child trafficking, right?
I'm pretty sure.
That shit was fucked. When I saw child trafficking, I'm like, damn, you got your own son, you doing that too?
Yeah.
Bro, that would definitely fuck with the whole family. But that was tough. And in my notes, I said Edamami's mom is smash. I just wrote mom smash, bro. Nothing else. Was like, I think she's valid though. And then again, I think it flashback back to Charles Dickens, and I also said Smash again. She's fine.
Paula Dickens,
No.
Charles Dickens.
Charles
Damn, I didn't know you like
Is it
that.
Paula or Charles, bro?
It's a girl. It's not Charles.
Shit, I forgot the name. That's why I think I wrote Charles, bro. My bad. No, Paula is so fine, bro.
Hey, we'll put up on the screen what Charles is, and that's what Dom likes.
Sin,
Damn, I
Sin
meant Paula.
City was made.
Anyways, getting back to it. So at Makoto's behest, they pick up Tom and they send him to the theme park so he can spend the day with his father. However, in the restroom, Edamame is approached by Paula and Anderson, saying that Paula knows what the hell is going on with the scheme with Laurent, and make sure he's just kind of convinces him to be the mole in the FBI sting operation to arrest Laurent and Kasano, in exchange for which they will clear Makoto of wrongdoing and return to Japan. He discovers a hidden camera in his room when they get back to Salazar's home, meaning that his contact with Abby and Laurent has been found out. The next day, everybody comes at Kasano's mansion for a party, unaware that there is a traitor among them, but to Makoto's relief, Kasano accuses his financial manager. So, to break all this down, I kind of want to go back to the theme park. So, the theme park, Edamame is hanging out with Salazar, right? Salazar and his kid. And they have a scene where he's at the capsule machine, pulls it out, and then the kid gets, what was it, like a gang member?
Yeah, like a
statue?
gangster.
It was kind of cool to see that interaction because he, like, the kid's kind of whining, says he wants a bodyguard statue, kind of be like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're, like, actually holding up, not necessarily justice, but doing, like, the right thing, I guess, or whatever the kid said. I'm not sure if you remember, but it was kind of see that in contrast to his dad being actually one of the bad guys, since he's working for, like, the biggest, like, notorious, like, drug pin dude.
Yeah. It's kind of like the different role and perspective when it's like your dad. Like, you don't see him as being someone that's like doing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess it goes back to Nomura when
Yeah,
he's like
exactly.
thinking about his own dad, like he's just like a good guy to him, but
Mhm.
like out in the rest of the world, he's like terrible.
He's terrible, exactly. That's what I really did like about this interaction here at the museum park, because Edamura has seen it with his own eyes. Like, damn, I could see myself in that kid, and seeing that his father really isn't really a good person. He's trying to put him on the right track, Salazar. So it was cool to see
For not for Salazar, but for
the kid. Yeah. Not even for Salazar, but it's for the kid, dude. He's
Yeah.
like, damn, I want that kid to grow up with an actual good father,
Mhm.
and not someone that's actually just doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Because he did have a talk later on with Edamame saying why he's being a bodyguard for. He just needs the money to make sure he gets the kid to like a good college. But seeing that, it's almost contradicting because you're doing everything you can to get money to raise your kid right, but you're not there fully
To
for
raise your kid, right?
Exactly. It's so backwards, but I understand the contradiction here, and that's why when Salazar had to talk with Edamame, they're going back and forth at that house. I was like, damn, that's a good conversation to have
Mm-hmm.
when they brought that up. So
Yeah.
that was sick. And then afterwards was the what's it called? The bear. So when I first saw the camera coming out of it, I didn't know who basically planted it, because like obviously it pointed to Salazar, but I could also think like, oh, is Salazar working with Kasano or not?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in the inclination that, oh, who put it there? Maybe it was Kasano that like planted it, so they're pretty fucked. So that's why when they had the whole scene about where they're having this big celebration before Sakura Magic pops out, and Kasano was shaking everybody up, bro. So he went up to Abby and was like, yo, you think there's a traitor among us? He's like, there's no way. And then comes up to Laurent and saying, is any traitors? He's like, there's no way. Maybe it'll be me, but
Yeah.
only
Only I'm capable of being a traitor.
Because I was like, oh, that's a good joke, bro. Literally didn't know that he was actually gonna get fucked by this dude. And then comes up to Edamame. I love this part of the show where it comes up to Edamame and you don't know if he's gonna get his shits kicked in or not, because he brings up a bat. And since the bear scene was before the scene of the celebration,
Yeah.
you're like, holy crap, is Edamame gonna get his shit kicked in? So then the tension builds up and all this shit. And the next thing you know, he doesn't hit Edamame, but hits his financial manager. I was like, holy crap. That was sick.
Right before that, when he is approached by Paula and like basically she tells him to choose. Like, you want to help us, or are you gonna just like get arrested with them?
Yeah.
And the cool thing I thought about that was the signal to tell the FBI whether or not he's choosing them or sticking with Laurent is the glasses that he wore, and they're the exact same glasses that he's already wearing. So when it cuts to the next scene, he picks up the glasses, but like as an audience member, you have no idea which glasses he chose.
Yeah.
So going into that scene where he's in the banquet at Cassano's mansion, you're just watching like which side is he actually on. I thought that was pretty cool because they like purposely showed the glasses. They had like a specific scene to show that you don't know which one he's choosing.
It's a good direction.
So then like it builds up the suspense, like what you were saying, even more.
Yeah. Of like what side is Edamame on? Because at this point in time, I didn't know what Edamame was going to choose. Because I was going back and forth saying like, is he really going to side with Laurent or is he going to side with the FBI? I had no idea. So let's see where he is. So Edamame confronts Salazar about the camera and asks him why he didn't expose Cassano. And Salazar explains that he became a gang lord and later Cassano's bodyguard out of desire to rise above his poor upbringing and give his son a better life. This reminds Makoto of his father's own arrest on suspicion of aiding a human trafficking ring, prompting him to agree to cooperate with Paula and FBI on the condition that they leave Salazar free. So we already kind of mentioned it back before that Edamame was talking with Salazar and just showing that contrast, but also the way that I honestly think later in this arc, I thought that Salazar was gonna die. High key.
Really?
I thought he was gonna die because I feel like they kept on like. I feel like a lot of anime they build up this emotional sentiment attachment for certain figures. So I thought since they got so much like background with Salazar, I thought he was gonna die. So I literally wrote down, I think he might die because they're building up too much. We saw his kid. We saw how he's trying to be a good father. So I think he's gonna go off on the next episodes or so.
I didn't think that specifically because I felt the purpose was to show the background of Edamura and not so much to feel anything towards Salazar. That's how I took it. Like it was more understanding Edamura instead.
I kind of see your point there, but I also could have seen that they were just trying to build up Salazar and then see like Salazar kind of change a new leaf. I felt like because I felt like he would have like made me realize that his kid's his actual like part in his life, and then right when he has an inclination, gets stabbed or some shit or like blown up or some shit stupid shit like that. That was my prediction.
I just didn't think so because like Edamura's whole like goal was for him to be there for Tom. I don't know. I just didn't think it would add to the story if Salazar is dead. Just because like Edamura went out of his way to make that connection. I don't know. It just didn't seem like I
can see it go both ways, yeah. But I feel like if they wanted to like incite some sort of shock within the audience, I think they could have killed off Salazar.
That would have. I don't know if it would have hurt me. I would have been like, okay.
I'll be like, damn, that sucks, bro. But shit's going down if someone did die, though.
I was gonna be like, that sucks, but get back to the con.
Get back to the con, man. What are we doing here? No. But that's what I said in my future prediction. But also, I honestly think at the end of the series, Laurent might die. Just because I think they played him too much as like this heel character, where he's not necessarily the villain, but he's not necessarily the hero. He's like the one that's stringing everything together. But along the way, I feel like he would end up in a situation where he like saves someone's life, and he basically dies. I don't know when, but I feel like at the end of the series is when we'll see it.
I don't think he's gonna die, but I feel like there's gonna be a turning point where Laurent is stuck in a bad situation, and Edamura is gonna be the one like. He's gonna be like the leader and like getting Laurent out. Out of some situation. I
feel like that's what this whole show has been building Edamame to do, though.
Yeah.
Because Laurent's really just on his dick, low key, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, you're made for the con, man. I'm trying to get you into my gang. Come on. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Also at the end, so let's see. So basically at the end, it shows Edamura choosing to side with the FBI. And because at that point it reveals that he chose the other pair of glasses, so he's like talking with the FBI in his ear.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was obvious that there's definitely a plan to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
Like there's no way it would fail here. Like because of the past episodes of like everyone's in on it,
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be other people in on it.
I agree. I felt like at the end of the day, there's no way that Edamame is gonna side totally with the FBI. I feel like he'll have a turning point where he
Mhm.
would side with Laurent.
Yeah, and also I feel like Laurent has a track record of tricking Edamura
Yeah.
to believing things.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Edamura's in his own world. Like he has no clue what's happening in the background.
Yeah, he's just cool.
He's just scared shitless, basically. That's
Fucking
all he
trust
is right
issues.
now.
He's straight up trust issues. He does not trust anything. Fuck. I wouldn't trust anything if I was in Edamame's shoes.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. But with that, I think that's episode 4, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what we got from it.
Hey, thanks everyone for watching. Letting us know in the comments what you guys feel about it, and look forward to episode 5.
Yep. Stay tuned for next week's episode.
Peace.
Yeah.